Division 2 table toppers Derbyshire got on top of the bottom club Glamorgan on the first day of their LV County Championship match in Derby, in spite of the efforts of Marcus North. Mark Wallace decided to bat first after winning the toss, and the day began fairly well for the visitors. Gareth Rees struck Tim Groeneval to the fence in the day's first over. And then in the 8th, Mark Footit, having just beaten Rees, pulled up with a hip injury, which was bad enough for him to immediately leave the field. He will have a scan on Thursday. That left Derbyshire a bowler down, but the rest knuckled down as John Clare had success with his very first ball against a side he took 11 for 57 against last month. Nick James giving Dan Redfern some catching practice in the slips. It was some start again for Clare, who 4 balls later also got shot of Will Bragg. The bowler could hardly believe his luck as the batsman cut a short delivery straight to Ross Whiteley to leave Glamorgan on 33 for 2. It was certainly not the start they would have anticipated on a good surface. Both men had got themselves out, but Rees was looking good. Until on 30 he drove at Whiteley and nicked to Martin Guptill at 59 for 3. The pitch may have been a good one, but the Derbyshire bowlers were getting some help from the conditions, with the ball swinging prodigiously at times throughout the morning. So Glamorgan were thankful to North, their overseas signing, who arrived in the country late because of the birth of his child. So this was his Glamorgan debut, the 6th county he's represented in this country. He's the first overseas player to manage that. He knows what it's all about then, and he was soon settling in superbly as he got his side to lunch with no further losses. North was already looking the part, as he so often does in this competition. 10 minutes after the break, Derbyshire were rewarded with the wicket of Ben Wright. He'd made 17 when he chased a wide delivery from Groeneval to warm the hands of Guptill at slip. Glamorgan hadn't managed a single batting bonus point coming into this game, and they were struggling to get one here as Jim Allenby was another to give his wicket away, mispulling Whiteley to David Wainwright. That left the Welshmen on 111 for 5, but they then got into the game courtesy of a 77-run partnership between Wallace and North. The Aussie had looked a little flummoxed at a couple of the earlier dismissals, so he would have been a little happier to see his captain at work. North, as probably many would have expected, started his Glamorgan career with a 50. A late guide to third man brought him his 8th boundary. He'd needed 98 deliveries to record his latest half-century. And the signs for Glamorgan were good as he carried on afterwards. He looked especially smart against Wainwright, to whom he picked the length of the ball brilliantly and used his feet to very good effect. Steadily, Glamorgan were closing in on that elusive batting point. They were 12 runs short of it when Wallace, on an encouraging 45, was bowled by Groeneval 10 minutes before the break for tea. But at last, Glamorgan did get to 200 in their first innings for the first time, as Dean Koska, only the 3rd right-hander we'd seen at the crease, helped North with a stand of 30 for the 7th wicket. Koska was then out for 13, defeated by a flighted Turner from West Durston, and the innings soon folded after that. North went in the final over before the second new ball was due, for once misreading the length of a delivery from Wainwright to go LBW for 79. Michael Reed, in only his second first-class match, both had been against this opposition, was then lugged before to Groeneval with the new cherry for 4. And Simon Jones, finally back representing his countrymen, was superbly held off screen by Wayne Madsen to give Clare his 3rd wicket. So, with 1 point to their name, Glamorgan had been dismissed for 236, which gave Derbyshire 8 overs to see out before stumps. Guptill and Paul Borrington ensured that there were no late mishaps on what was another pretty good day for them. Jones, bat bowling for Glamorgan for the first time since August 2007, may not have the pace he once did after being ravaged with injuries, but he was still able to cause some concern for the batsman. He got through 4 overs, which went for 13, and Derbyshire ended the day on 22 without loss, which sees them go into the second day 214 runs behind with all of their wickets intact.